358 is Mashiach time. For those familiar with Gematria, 358 is the numerical value of both Mashiach and Nachash. I believe it is also Rav Yosef. And it is also, Rav Yosef is 156 and Rav is 202. So 202 and 156 is 358. It's also Malei Ruach Chachma, several things. But anyway, 358 is the time here in Israel, in Jerusalem. And we're on Makos 23. Now, Makos 23 is tomorrow's daf. And tomorrow will be the 18th day of the Omer. God willing. Today is the 17th. Tomorrow will be the 18th. Or if you're looking at this tomorrow, then today is the 18th. But really, today is actually the 17th. It's kind of like a composite day. Laila kayom yael. The night will shine like in the day. 489 is the numerical value of Makos 23. Some of the nice gematrias for 489 would be Ish Matzliach. Very important. Ish Matzliach. Yehoshua ben Levi. And it's also Be'etahi. 489. It's also well, I think that's good for now. It's the numerical value of Sanhedrin Kuf Yud. Wow. Okay. Makos 23, we're starting with the Gemara. The Gemara says, My time mishum nikle. My time mishum nikle. Nice. Oy, 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 oy. My time mishum nikle. The Gemara, the Mishnah teaches that the attendant rips the garments of the person about to be flogged. He rips them. The Gemara explains, what is the reason for this? It is due to the verse, 40 shall flog him, and your brother shall be debased before you. Deuteronomy 25:3. As tearing his garments debases him. Amar Rav Sheshet Mishum Elazar ben Azariah. Amar Rav Sheshet Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Minayin l'chatzua shehi shel egel dichtiv 40 yakenu v'samich lo tachsom shor bedisho. Rav Sheshet says, in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, from where is it derived with regard to the strap used for flogging, that is a strap from the hide of a calf? As it is written, 40 he shall flog him, and juxtaposed to it is written, you shall not muzzle an ox in its threshing. Deuteronomy 25:4, indicating that the strap is from the hide of an ox. It says egel. Egel is a baby ox. Egel. It's interesting. He proved that it's from an ox, but why? He didn't prove that it's from an egel. An egel is a baby ox. Interesting. That'll be a question for the records. Rav Sheshet said, how do you know that the Ritzua comes from an egel? And he made a hekesh from 40 yakenu to lo tachsom shor bedisho. But, I mean, if I want to be like a Gemara, I would say, that only means it's an ox. How do you know an egel? I mean, the Gemara could ask something like that. Maybe it will, but I don't think it will. Let's see. But that's a question. It's a gross question. And for that, I say, it's a personal take. At any rate, weiter. The Amar Rav Sheshes Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azayo Minayin livav shenavla lifnei mukashchein shein chois min oisa. See, the Gemara doesn't ask it. Amar Rav Sheshes Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azayo Minayin livav shenavla lifnei mukashchein shein chois min oisa. Dichsiv lo yisach so mishol bedishui u'semich le ki Yehoshua achim yachtav. Rav Sheshet says, in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, from where is it derived with regard to a Yavama who happened before a Yavam afflicted with boils, that one does not compel her to enter into that levirate marriage? It is derived from a verse. Interesting case. So, someone was married and he died, and the woman had a brother-in-law, and the brother-in-law was nasty and full of boils. And how do we know that you don't have to marry her? It's derived from a verse, he says. As it is written, you shall not muzzle an ox in its threshing. And juxtaposed to it is written when brothers dwell together, which is the parsha of Yevamah, Deuteronomy 25, verse 5, which is a passage. The Yevamah is not muzzled, as it were, when she states that she does not want to enter into levirate marriage with him. Interesting. I would think you could say it differently. You could say, don't cause the animal pain. Don't, or maybe you would say, Lo tachro shor b'chamor yachdao, which is also in that parsha. It's unequally yoked, you could say. When brothers dwell together, which the pastor, okay, all right, nice. We don't keep her mouth shut, but she's not eating; she's saying something. I don't know. Anyway, Amar Rav Sheshes Mishum Rabbi Elazar Yakol Mevazis Rabbi Giloi ben Elazar Dichsiv Elohim Asechel Yisas Lecho Usmech Lo Le Et Chag Hamatzot Tishma. And Rav Sheshes says in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah concerning anyone who treats the festivals with contempt. Not sure why you would, but in any case, it is as though he is worshipping idols. Idols! As it is written, molten gods you shall not make for yourself, Exodus 34:17. And juxtaposed to it is written, the festival of Passover you shall observe, Exodus 34:18. Dichsiv לכלב תשליכו לא יסמיך לא יסיס השם השוב וקריבו נבי לא יסעסי לא תעשי. And Rav Sheshet says in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah concerning anyone who speaks malicious speech and anyone who accepts malicious speech as the truth, and anyone who testifies a false testimony, it is fit to throw him to the dogs. As it is written, to the dog you shall cast it, Exodus 22:30. And juxtaposed to it is written, you shall not accept lotisa, a false report. Do not join with the wicked to be a false witness, Exodus 23, verse 1. In addition to prohibitions against false testimony and against accepting malicious speech, Rav Sheshes also reads into the verse meaning, you shall not relate a false report. ושתי רצויס וכולי תנא של רמו ונאיזהו גלילו על ידי רב חיסדא יודע שור כלי וחמור אבוס בעליו ישראל לא ידע לגומר. אמר הקדוש ברוך הוא יבוא מי שיכיר אבוס בעליו ויפרע ממי שאינו מכיר אבוס בעליו. The Mishnah teaches in two straps go up and down the double strap of a calf hide. The sages taught and they are straps of donkey hide, as a certain Galilean interpreted. That's interesting. As a certain Galilean interpreted before Chisda is written, the ox knows its owner, and the donkey its master's trough, but Israel does not know. My people does not consider. Isaiah 1:3. The Holy One, blessed be, says, let the one who recognizes its master's trough, an ox and a donkey, come and exact retribution through lashes with a strap. Interesting. Okay. 2 straps go up and down the double strap of the calf hide. It could be of a donkey also. Apparently, according to this certain Galilean, through lashes with a strap of ox and donkey hide from one who does not recognize his master's trough and performs transgressions. This is all very interesting stuff. The Mishnah teaches the length of his handle is 1 hand breadth, and the width of the straps is 1 hand breadth. And the strap must be long enough so that its end reaches the top of his abdomen. Abaye said, conclude from it that for each and every one, we craft the strap according to the size of their back. Rava said to him, if so, there will be numerous straps in court for them. Rather, Rava said, it has loops. When the attendant wants, he ties the loop to shorten the strap, and when the attendant wants, he loosens the loops to lengthen the straps. The length of the strap must be adjusted to correspond to the height of the person being flogged. How do we know these things? לפניו, כדי רישתו במספר, רישה אחת מלפניו, 2 רשיות מאחוריו. The Mishnah teaches one flogs him with 1/3 of the lashes from the front of him and 2 1/3 portions from behind him. The Gemara asks, from where are these matters derived? Rav Kahana said it is derived from a verse, as the verse states, and the judge shall cause him to lie down and strike him before him in accordance with his wickedness. Kedei rishato b'mispar, by the number. Deuteronomy 25 verse 2 indicating that the attendant strikes him in accordance with 1 portion of wickedness from the front of him and 2 portions of wickedness from behind him. Ein malkinoi soy v'chulei Amar Rav Chizda Amar Yochanan minayin eretzoshi mikupeles shneimar v'pilo k'miboy le'leguvim k'le'toim krayatayu ma'epilo shma minatarti. The Mishnah teaches, and he does not flog him when the one receiving lashes is standing, nor when he is sitting. Rather, he flogs him when he is hunched. As it is stated, and the judge shall cause him to lie down. Rav Chizda says that Rabbi Yochanan says, from where is it derived with regard to the strap, that it is doubled? It is derived from a verse, as it is stated, and he shall cause him to lie down. Which is interpreted based on the similar Aramaic root ayin pei pay, meaning double. The Gemara asks, but doesn't he require that verse for the fundamental halacha itself? As the Mishnah teaches, he flogs him when he is hunched. The Gemara answers, if so, let the verse write, shall bend him. What is the meaning of shall cause him to lie down? Conclude two conclusions from it. The halacha, that the person being flogged must be hunched, and the allusion to the doubling of the strap.
Hamakimake biado tanu rabanan en ma'min chazinon chazanin ela chaser koach v'ser mada. Rabbi Yehuda Omer afilu chaser mada v'yeser koach.
The Mishnah teaches, and the attendant flogging the one receiving lashes flogs him with one hand with all his strength. Ouch. The sages taught for the administration of lashes, the court appoints only attendants who are lacking in strength and are exceedingly knowledgeable in Torah. Rabbi Yehuda says the court may appoint even those who are lacking in knowledge and are exceedingly strong. Ouch. That's the worst. It's not even one or the other. It's like, if he's lacking in knowledge and he's really strong, it's going to hurt. Okay, anyways. Amarove kevaseder Rabbi Yehuda Stavra deksiv lo yoisev yoisev yamad mishlam chaser mada hay mitzach lezorei ela yamad tiser mada mitzach lezorei rabbonon in Makos in Elad Mezorachas. Rava said, we're holding here. Rava said, it is reasonable to rule in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. As it is written, 40 shall flog him, he shall not exceed, lest he continue to beat him. Deuteronomy 25:3 he explains, granted, if you say that even people lacking halachic knowledge are appointed, that is why it is necessary to warn him not to add lashes. But if you say only people who are exceedingly knowledgeable are appointed, does the Torah need to warn the attendant? Apparently, right. I remember elsewhere it says that we don't warn a chaver, someone who's in a different context. We don't warn a Talmud Chacham. Apparently, even if a person lacking knowledge can be appointed as an attendant, and according to rabbis, that is no proof, as there is an expression that one implores only one who is already implored. In other words, only one who is already cognizant of a halacha can be effectively warned to observe it. Tana kishumak biyamag yushteyadav kishumak mag yadehachas. It is taught when the attendant raises the strap to administer the lashes, he raises it with both hands, and when he flogs the one receiving lashes, he flogs with one hand, so that the lashes will come from him in a deliberate manner. בזמן שמכה מרובה מעריך, בזמן שמכה מרטט מקצר. והענן תנן חוזר לתחילת המקרה, מצווה לצמצם. אם לא צמצם חוזר לתחילת המקרה. The Mishnah teaches, and the court crier recites the verse beginning if you do not observe to perform, as well as other verses. The sages taught the most prominent of the judges recites the verses, the second most prominent judge counts the lashes, and the third most prominent says to the attendant, strike him. When the lashes are numerous, the one reciting the verse extends his recitation. When the lashes are few, he curtails his recitation by reciting it faster. In both cases, he does so to coordinate the recitation with the duration of the lashes. Lashes. The Gemara asks, but didn't we learn in the Mishnah, and then he returns to the beginning of the first verse, indicating that one could read the passage several times. The Gemara answers, the mitzvah is to precisely coordinate recitation of the verses with the flogging, and if he did not precisely coordinate between them, and he completed the recitation of the verses before completing the lashes, he returns to the beginning of the first verse. Tanu Abanon Makera Ba'ili Ela Makera Ba'makamuet Spinayin Tamiloima Loyois Im Ken Matamu Loima Makera Ba Limin Oshana Shen Makara Ba. The Gemara cites another brayta with regard to the number of lashes. The sages taught from the verse, he shall not exceed, lest he continue to beat him beyond these, a great flogging, Deuteronomy 25:3. I have derived only a prohibition with regard to a great flogging. From where do I derive that even a minimal excessive flogging is prohibited? I derive it from the verse that states, he shall not exceed at all. He shall not exceed, and then the commentary says at all. The Gemara asks, if so, why must the verse state a great flogging? This teaches that initial lashes must be ministered as a great flogging with all the attendant's strength. This kalkel v'kulei tanu Rabbanan echadish v'echadisha berei lo b'mayim divrei Rabbi Meir Rabbi Yehuda imayish berei v'haisha b'mayim v'chachamim ma'imrim echadish v'echadisha berei b'mayim. The Mishnah teaches if the one being flogged sullies himself with excrement or urine, he is exempt from further lashes. Rabbi Yehuda says the man is exempted with excrement and the woman is exempted even with urine. Exempted with urine. The sages taught in a brayta for both a man and a woman they are exempted if they sully themselves with excrement, but not if they do so with urine. And this is the statement of Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda says the man with excrement and the woman even with urine. And the rabbis say both a man and a woman are exempt from further lashes, whether they sully themselves with excrement or urine. You're in or you're out. Tanya. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Echad Ish v'Echad Isha b'rei, Amer Rabbi Nachman Yitzchak Shneim Yishal b'rei. The Gemara asks with regard to the opinion attributed to Rabbi Yehuda, but isn't it taught in the brayta that Rabbi Yehuda says both a man and a woman are exempted with excrement, indicating that Rabbi Yehuda holds that a woman is not exempted with urine? Rabbi Nachman says there is no contradiction. That brayta is merely stating that according to Rabbi Yehuda, both are equal with regard to excrement. That does not mean that Rabbi Yehuda holds that a woman is not exempted with urine. Amr Shmuel kefatuhu v'rasmi ben din patur me'isvei kala ben v'rishayna ben b'shniya poitrino isai nifsika ratzu b'shniya poitrino isai v'rishayna en poitrino isai amai le'avi karat sasimrat sachalayrat. Shmuel says if they bound him to be flogged and he fled from the court, he's exempt. The Gemara raises an objection from brayta. If he was debased with excrement, whether during the first lash or during the second lash, the court exempts him. But in a case where the strap was severed during the course of the flogging, if this occurred during the second lash, they exempt him. But if it happened during the first lash, they do not exempt him. Why is he not exempted during the first lash? Let his status be like one who fled from the court before the flogging began, in which he is exempt. The Gemara answers there, in that case, he fled from the court and he is not compelled to return. Here, he did not flee, and therefore he is not exempted without being flogged. Tan Rabbanan Amadu Kishi Yikle Kala Poetunesod Kishi Esim Beis Din Kala Malkinoisoy Yoidela Afilu Kala V'Tchila Malkinoisoy. The sages taught if they assess concerning him that when he is flogged, he will be debased with excrement, they exempt him, as the court does not administer punishment that will lead to debasing the one being flogged beyond the shame generated by the lashes themselves. But if they assess concerning him that it is only when he will leave the court that he will be debased with excrement, they may flog him, but they do flog him. Moreover, even if he was debased initially before any lashes were administered, they nevertheless flog him, as it is stated, and strike him, and your brother shall be debased. Deuteronomy 25:2-3, indicating that the reference is to one debased as a result of the lashes, and not to one who was already debased in court prior to being flogged. And that's that. New Mishnah. כל חד קריסו שלקו נפטרו ידי קריסוס ומשנה ונקנה חיר עיניך כשלקה הוא ככיך דרבי חנני בן גמליאל. Mishnah says, all those liable to receive karet who were flogged are exempted from their punishment of karet, as it is stated, and your brother shall be debased before your eyes. Deuteronomy 25:3, indicating once he is flogged, he is as your brother, as his sin has been atoned, and he is no longer exiled from the Jewish people. This is the statement of Rabbi Hanani ben Gamliel. Ben Gamliel ma'im ha'oi v'ravero achas noit lav she'oleo ha'oi semetzo achas alachas kama v'kama she'edin lo inashoy v'shim elohimer v'mekoi ma'olam she'nemar b'nichlasu ha'nifashos ha'oisos. Rabbi Hanani ben Gamliel says, and if one who performs one transgression, his soul is taken for it, and one soul can be uprooted from the world for one transgression, for one who performs a single mitzvah, is it all the more so the case that his soul will be given to him, as the reward for performing mitzvot is greater than the punishment for performing transgressions? Rabbi Shimon says it is derived from its own place in the Torah, as it is stated at the conclusion of the passage discussing intercourse with forbidden relatives, which is punishable with karet, and the souls that perform them shall be excised, Leviticus 18:29. And it states toward the beginning of that chapter,